Hello and welcome to Nile TV International's continuous coverage of the US-Israel-Iran situation. Pakistan stepped up diplomacy on Thursday to hasten US and Iran peace talks, even as Tehran appeared to harden its stance over the nuclear issue amid new threats of strikes from US President Donald Trump if he did not get what he called the right answers. In the meantime, the U.S. Secretary of State voiced hope of progress on ending the war with Iran, with mediator Pakistan's army chief in Tehran for talks. To update us on the latest, we have with us now over the phone Dr. Paul Davis. And Dr. Davis is a professor at the Institute of World Politics. He's a strategic, military and economic expert, and he's talking to us from Washington, D.C. Dr. Davis, good evening. Thank you as always for joining us.
And thank you for having me.
Dr. Davis, the U.S. President is threatening strikes if he doesn't get what he called the right answers. What are the right answers that Mr. Trump is waiting for?
Well, the right answers are the ones he has spoken of over the last couple of months. The uranium enrichment, the enriched uranium that Iran has at the moment is removed from Iran. And beyond that is the stopping of any support to proxy terrorists and control, and some kind of control or limitation to ballistic missiles.
Okay. And do you think that Iran is ready to give up any concessions in any of these files, Dr. Davis?
Well, one of the problems we run into, and this is something that we have seen over and over again, Iran says one thing, they begin to move forward, the negotiations seem to move forward, and then they seem to come to a screeching halt. Just recently, we got the notification from the Supreme Leader that the uranium will not leave Iran. And that is one of Trump's big red lines.
Yes. Many of us are confused as to what Mr. Trump really intends to do. Because, I mean, a few days back he said that he was 60 minutes away from striking Iran again, but then he said he retracted from that because of a request from the Qatari Emir, the Saudi heir to the throne, and the Emirati president. And then he said that Iran has something like 2 or 3 days to come back to the negotiating table. And then he said he's not in a rush, I'm not in a hurry, I'm not in a rush. So, I mean, again, the question that we pose every time really, which Trump should we take more seriously? The one who is not in a rush, or the one who wants Iran to go to rush back to the table quickly? I mean,
well, this is one of the problems anybody negotiating with Donald Trump runs into. The old saying that has followed him into politics is, you cannot take him literally, but you have to take him seriously. By that I mean he has a timeline in his head. And it could be 20 minutes, it could be 24 hours, it could be 2 weeks. But to take him seriously, he is, if he doesn't get movement, if he doesn't see that there's going to be movement, then there is going to be some form of kinetic action. That's the part you have to take seriously.
Okay. Do you have any educated guess, Dr. Davis, as to what exactly is the length of the time frame that Mr. Trump might have in mind?
No, I don't, and I think from the standpoint of any type of strategic or tactical time frame, they're going to play as many games as they can to not give in, to show when it's going to happen. I do believe it's going to happen sooner rather than later. And by that I mean probably within 7 days. But it could go beyond that. Again, they're going to see they're going to see what's going on. The satellites are looking down. We're seeing what the Iranian military is doing. We're seeing where things are being moved. We know where certain things are, and the targeters are now saying, "This is what we can hit. This is what we're going to need a little bit more time on," and then the generals are going to say, "This is what we need to take out." And so this is going to be part of the strategy and the calculus.
Okay. Is Eid al-Adha, the Greater Bayram, the Hajj pilgrimage important in the time frame policy of Mr. Trump? And of course we know that this will be in 5 days' time, and like between 5 and 10 days you'll have the peak of Hajj in Saudi Arabia, in the Arab Gulf region, in Mecca. Then on the 11th of June you would have the World Cup, the FIFA World Cup, being hosted by the United States. I don't know, I mean, are these important elements in the time frame that Mr. Trump might draw up?
That I have absolutely. There's no way of telling. There's going to be people that are saying yes. Be careful because of the significance of the time frame, and there's going to be others people, maybe even when he talks to Prime Minister Netanyahu, who are going to remind him that Egypt attacked Israel on Yom Kippur. So this is something that I don't know where his mind is going to be on that, and what the military is going to say.
Yeah. Speaking of Israel, Dr. Davis, I'm sure you must have heard Mr. Trump's statements, and I assume that he was joking, when he said that after he finishes this, he means like the 2+ years that he has in office, that he might go to Israel and run for prime minister because he believes his support there is something like 99%. I mean, this is what he said. What's your comment on that specific
and again, and this is Donald Trump at his most Donald Trumpist.
Yes.
He is just, what he's saying there is he is edging on or poking the Democratic Party in America, saying, I am more popular in Israel than I am with the Democrats, so don't try to tell me I need to be more concerned about how Israel is going to react. I'm popular in Israel. They're going to accept anything I do.
Yeah.
No, he's not going to run. He's not going to give up U.S. citizenship and become an Israeli and run.
You know what? But it seems, Dr. Davis, that Mr. Trump is looking for another important job after he finishes his time in the White House, because I remember that he also had said that he might go and run against Delcy. Remember? Delcy Rodriguez in Venezuela. So, yeah. Trump in his most Trumpist moment, as you said. But he was not that Trumpist in China. I mean, that was very, very evident. I mean, we were looking for highlights. We were looking for the Trump that we know there, but we didn't find him in Beijing. Why is that?
There's a lot of stuff in Beijing that well, again, when you're countries like the United States and China, a lot of what was going to be happening had already been decided. This was theater. And if there was anything going on with China and the United States, it was happening behind the scenes. He was not going to be the bombastic, make America great, see what I can do at rallies. This was not going to happen with him, because at this point, as the great negotiator, he's negotiating with somebody on his level, which is totally different than when he deals with Venezuela or Iran or Cuba, when he's, they're nowhere near his level.
Yes. Dr. Davis, I want your comment on the Senate move. I mean, I believe it was attempt number 8 to try and curb Mr. Trump's war powers, and the Senate succeeded in that attempt in the past few days. So I want your comment on that, and whether this might have any effect on future decisions regarding the situation with Iran?
What happened in the Senate was pure political theater, and we know that. What happened in the Senate now, they passed a resolution. The resolution has to go to the House. The House has already voted that resolution down once before, a week before. Now, let's assume, just for the sake of argument, that somehow the House does pass this resolution. Then the resolution has to go to Trump to sign it.
Yes.
And Trump can veto it.
Yes.
And when it goes back to Congress, everybody knows there's no way they can override that veto. So, like I said, this is pure midterm election political theater.
But will it have an effect, I mean, an indirect effect, in your view, on the decisions that Mr. Trump might take? Pressure, I mean, political pressure.
We've all seen how Trump reacts to political pressure. It's to push back harder. Again, he's lame duck. He can't run again, so that's not part of his calculus. He does want to be able to have some influence in the next election, so that's going to be part of it as well. But at the same token, Donald Trump is looking at this and saying, I'm going to win. This is Donald Trump. I'm going to win. No matter what they do, I'm going to find a way to pull a rabbit out of the hat. And, you know, they're not going to take the Senate. They're not going to take the House. And, you know, and I'm going to embarrass him. He had tremendous victories in the recent primaries and contested elections. So this has built up his ego. So he is not subject to political pressure the way normally we would see it.
All right, and I believe what has also helped the status of his ego is the performance of the stock market. And obviously he takes pride in this, but also the Democrats seem to be trying to pressure him on this, because every now and then, you know, every few days, we hear a Democratic voice accusing Mr. Trump of manipulating the stock market with his statements, with, you know, and of his family or his entourage benefiting from these statements that they claim, you know, might be given to them beforehand. So inside information, I mean. So there's also this pressure coming in a sustained way by the Democrats against Mr. Trump regarding potential stock market manipulation.
Again, this is pure political theater. But I mean, the Democrats, they should be very, very concerned about pulling this out, because there's more Democrats in the House that have been accused of insider trading than anything else. Donald Trump does not need to manipulate the stock market. He's a multi-billionaire. He's got a certain amount of leverage in the stock market, but again, he is a real estate person. Most of his money is in real estate, which does not affect the stock market. It helps him. He's probably got enough involved in it. He probably owns enough stock, but he probably has no idea what he owns. This is all done by business managers. So
what about them? I mean, what about them? I mean, there is a sense, Dr. Davis, that something is happening with the market. I mean, it's not logical by any means that all of this, you know, would only lead to a 110 or 105 dollars per barrel for the price of Brent or WTI, and also the stock market, the New York Stock Exchange, near all-time highs. I mean, Mr. Trump himself said, I had expected the market to lose some 20 or 25%, if I remember the exact percentage that he used, 20 or 25, something like this. And he also talked about, I expected prices of oil to reach $200 per barrel also, I believe he said so. So, I mean, it doesn't make sense. I mean, markets should have been down much lower than they are now, and the prices of oil indeed should have been much higher than they are now. What do you think? I mean, you're an expert in this area.
There is no way to predict market movement. Well, there is, but not to to the great degrees that you're saying. Talking about $200 oil and stock market reduction. This is all based on a variety of different indicators and movements. What you're seeing is, regardless of what the Democrats say, regardless of how the cost of living has increased since the beginning of the war, the American economic picture, the American economy, is pretty solid. Inflation is under control. Manufacturing is building back up. The whole thing with the tariffs, however that's going to work out, it is just making the economy better. Unemployment is at basically a very all-time low. Now the problem is we have problems with oil, we have problems with groceries, we have problems with some other areas.
Yes.
But this is something the Democrats are pushing very hard at. But the reality is the economy is solid, and there's not a whole lot the Democrats can do about that.
Yeah. And I guess this is giving Mr. Trump some leeway, or that might explain why he says I'm not in a rush, or that a further increase of gasoline prices would still be a minimum price to pay for what he calls, I mean, the most important goal of all, which is to deprive Iran from potentially owning a nuclear weapon. So you're telling us, Dr. Davis, that Mr. Trump is not worried a lot about further inflation or further hikes in gasoline prices? That this might affect the November elections?
He's going to look at it. He's going to think about it. But again, and a lot of people, we try to avoid talking about this, or at least the Democrats try to avoid talking about this. The price of gasoline today is still nowhere near where it was under Biden. And
yeah, 4 years ago, during the Russia-Ukraine war.
The people that are paying higher gasoline prices, they're making more money at work.
Yeah.
So this is it hurts. People are going to complain. We're Americans. We complain about everything.
Yeah, but I guess those who are making more money at work would be like the upper middle class, right? Or those who are benefiting from the high stock prices, or also the upper classes, and not necessarily middle or lower income classes.
No,
is that correct?
If we look at the numbers, the middle class is on the rise. They're making much more money. Their salaries have gone up and stabilized. So this is, and it's all because of what's going on.
Okay. And who benefits from higher stock prices? Is it just the upper classes and the upper middle class, or also middle class?
Everybody benefits from it, because basically what it is, if the economy is solid, if jobs are solid, if there's money to be spent. I mean, if a company has additional money, again, this goes back to some of the ridiculous concepts some of the left-wing and socialist people have, that, the rich are only, all they're doing is they're hoarding money. Of course they don't do that. They take that money and make more money out of it by investing it into the products and the people and their employees. And by that point, the employees begin to make more money, and there's more product out on the street for them to purchase.
Sir, the time card, or the time issue, we understand that Iran must be under pressure due to the American blockade, the American naval blockade. But just how much pressure do you think they are facing? And don't you believe that they might be learning how to find ways to manipulate around that blockade and still get a good portion of what they used to get before the blockade, get an export as well?
Well, no. Iran is hurting. They're losing hundreds of millions of dollars a day from their economy. The difference here is that, say, the difference between America and Iran, the American people, when they feel a pinch, they scream and holler and yell and go after their government. in Iran. Iran is a military dictatorship, but a theocratic dictatorship. And every now and then the pressure does build up, and the people do go out in the streets. But we've seen what happens when that happens.
Yeah.
So 30,000 killed in 2 days on the streets when last time they rioted. So the elites in Iran, the bureaucracy, the imams, the military elites, they're fine. It's the people, but the people have no outlet. And the question always is, at what point does that pressure build up to a point where the people are going to go, I don't care anymore. I'm going to die anyhow. Let me go to the street.
Yeah. Who's winning the Hormuz fight, Dr. Davis, at the moment? Because every week, every few days, it seems the Hormuz war, if I may call it so, shifts here and there. So who's winning the Hormuz struggle at the moment?
Right now, the United States is. The United States has Straits of Hormuz completely bottled up. Any ship that's going to go through is going to go through because the Americans allow it to go through. The problem right now, from Iran's standpoint, is the longer they keep this bottled up, the more the other countries, the other Gulf countries, are going to find out how to get their oil to market. And we have the East-West pipeline in Saudi Arabia. It cannot handle the volume that tankers can. But let's take a look at the Iraqis. The Iraqis also have pipelines that move north and south through Turkey. Again, what the volume is. But what's happening right now is that all these countries are going, okay, this is right now. We need to plan for the future. We already talked about a channel being cut through Oman and UAE that's going to bypass the strait. And this is what's going to happen to Iran. Iran is going to lose what a little leverage it had with the strait as all these countries begin to find these workarounds to get their product to market.
You know, Dr. Davis, I'm getting a sense listening to you, and also another analyst that we had on air earlier who told me about something. He said, or actually she said, that she believes that Mr. Trump is very fine with the situation as is. I was asking her, I mean, where do you think, when do you think this stalemate will end, the no war, no peace situation, the world suffering from the relative closure of the Strait of Hormuz, and the relative increase in oil prices and fertilizers prices and food prices and so on. And I thought that maximum she was going to tell me like October, September, November, the elections. But she said, like, I think that Mr. Trump is ready to take this ride for the rest of his course at the White House. I mean, that was stunning to me. I mean, that was the first time I'd heard such an opinion. But what do you think? Because I'm getting the sense also listening to you that, you know, this could drag on for much, much longer. I mean, the no war, no peace situation, the stalemate, and so on.
Well, right now, Trump's sitting and looking at the situation going, and this is probably a false impression that Trump has, that ultimately Iran is going to fall. They cannot withstand the economic pressures that are being put on them. So he's willing to sit back and wait. The other thing is he's got a lot of people around him that he likes. Secretary of Treasury Bassett, Secretary of War, Secretary of State, and they're going to get to him and say, okay, Mr. President, yeah, we don't have time to wait anymore. We have other things that we have to move forward in the rest of what's going on. So we do need to take action. If you talk about pressure, that's the pressure he's going to be on. His friends, his advisors are going to basically wear him down to the point where we have to do something, and we need to do it quickly, and we need to do it very hard.
So you agree then with the opinion that it might seem, after all, that Mr. Trump is very fine with waiting for months to come, no problem?
He's fine with waiting as far as how long he'll wait.
Okay.
Again, knowing Donald Trump, and seeing the thing, he will wait to, and all of a sudden, he will wake up one morning and say, "I've waited long enough. Let's go."
Okay. Well, the Iranians...
He's not a patient person.
Yeah. He's not a patient person? Is he patient
Not
or
really.
impatient?
He is not patient
Okay.
at all.
Okay.
But he's patient when he talks about doing deals. As long as the deal is moving forward, he's willing to wait. The problem is the deal, in this case, the deal is not moving forward. And he's going to figure out sooner or later that Iran is playing him, and that Iran has no intention of making the deal. That, you talk about people that are willing to wait. Iran is the ones that are willing to wait. They think they can outwait the rest of the world, and that the oil prices are going to get to a point where the rest of the world is going to go nuts. But it's not going to happen on. It's not going to happen on their terms. It's going to happen on Trump's term.
The thing is here, Dr. Davis, and I want your response on this. And you must understand the Iranian skepticism. I mean, I also recently heard an Iranian intellectual saying, like, all wars end with negotiations, but with America and with Trump, all negotiations end with wars. I mean, that was, that was his word. I mean, I couldn't forget it, really. I mean, it stuck in my mind. So I just want your comment on this, because the Iranians, their experience says so.
The Iranians, unfortunately, have had the last 47 years where they have been able to outweight everybody, and they look at that as happening right now. All they have to do is hang in there, and they will delay and delay and delay. And the other thing is, while the Iranian government is negotiating, the Iranian proxies are not. They're putting pressure around the world, and this is what we heard from them, saying that we're going to if this doesn't work out, there's going to be pain, not only in the region but around the world. Their terrorist cells are there and ready to move, and so, but they can always say, we're willing to negotiate. We don't know what Hamas is doing. We don't know what Hezbollah is doing. They're doing their own thing, which the rest of the world knows is crap, that they control them. So, they're willing to negotiate as long as they have a certain amount of power that they can exert on neighbors and on other economies. And I think they're overplaying their hand on the economic impact of what oil is coming through the strait.
Okay. One final question, Dr. Davis. 39 days, we've had one scenario for 39 days. The war, the strikes, and so on. And then we had like a few days, maybe a couple of weeks to the ceasefire, and then the Pakistan talks, the Islamabad talks, the 20-hour talks, when U.S. Vice President Mr. Vance left Islamabad and threw the ball back in the Iranian court. And I've been watching this, and analysts have been watching this tennis match, both the Americans and the Iranians getting rid of the ball as fast as they can. I mean, nobody wants the ball in his court. I mean, it's very obvious. And at times, analysts felt that the Iranians now are stuck. They cannot get it back to the American court. Yet somehow they were able to do so. And then that tennis match continues. My question is, where is the ball now, as we speak? Because I'm really having a hard time to find it at this exact moment. One guest I had here told me the ball is in Beijing. That was his answer. But I want your answer, dear sir.
The ball is where it has been for quite some time, in Tehran.
Okay. All right.
Tehran can end this whole thing in 10 minutes. All they have to do is give up their uranium.
All right. So we'll end it here. We'll leave it here. Thank you very much, as always, Dr. Paul Davis.
Okay, thank you for having me.
Thank you, dear sir, the professor of at the Institute of World Politics, the strategic and military expert, Dr. Paul Davis, talking to us from Washington, D.C. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for staying with Nile TV. In less than 2 minutes, we'll be back with an update of the latest happening here at home, in the region, and across the globe. Please don't go far.